Oh yeah, I definitely knew I should marry Kody. It was a strong spiritual witness. And yeah, it was no regrets. And then when it was time to leave, it was also time to leave. And I just knew without a doubt also that it was time to go.
Christine Brown has finally delivered the blow fans never thought they'd see. Her ultimate revenge against Kody Brown is not just personal, it's devastating. With one shocking bombshell, Christine has ripped open the truth, leaving Kody's carefully crafted reputation in absolute ruins. Fans say there's no coming back from this, and for the first time, Kody may finally be facing the consequences of his own actions. Christine Brown has finally delivered the blow fans never thought they'd see. Her ultimate revenge against Kody Brown is not just personal, it's devastating. With one shocking bombshell, Christine has ripped open the truth, leaving Kody's carefully crafted reputation in absolute ruins. Fans say there's no coming back from this, and for the first time, Kody may finally be facing the consequences of his own actions. This revelation has reignited the flames of a reality TV saga that has spanned over a decade, shaking the very foundation of what Sister Wives once stood for and proving that Christine's chapter is not one of quiet retreat but of powerful retribution. For years, viewers watched Christine struggle in silence, smiling on camera while carrying the invisible weight of heartbreak, jealousy, and neglect. She had always been painted as the loyal, bubbly wife who put family unity above all else, even when her spirit was quietly breaking under the dominance of Kody's one-sided love affair with Robin. Now, with her life in a new place and her independence shining brighter than ever, Christine has taken a step that not only frees her from the shadows of her past but also exposes Kody for what she says he truly was: manipulative, dismissive, and more concerned with image than authenticity. The revenge is poetic because it does not come through bitterness or anger alone but through Christine seizing her voice, her power, and her truth in a way that fans argue will forever rewrite the narrative of Sister Wives. The so-called ultimate revenge Christine has enacted is not just one moment but a series of revelations that have dismantled Kody's long-maintained persona. Over the years, Kody built his reputation as a man of conviction, a husband juggling the complexities of plural marriage, and a father who, despite struggles, cared deeply about his large brood. Yet Christine's words have cracked that image wide open, painting a very different picture: a man consumed by ego, favoritism, and control, who left emotional wreckage in the lives of those who once trusted him most. Fans now say this isn't just Christine's story anymore, it's Kody's unraveling. Her revenge began subtly when she walked away, shocking audiences who thought she might stay loyal forever. But what made her departure the ultimate strike was the manner in which she chose to tell her story. Christine has not held back in interviews, on social media, and even in her memoir, where she painted vivid scenes of isolation, gaslighting, and emotional neglect that left her feeling like a stranger in her own marriage. She revealed details that fans had long speculated about, from the cold intimacy to Kody's obsession with control, and once the truth was out, the tidal wave of support that Christine received from fans drowned out any sympathy Kody might have tried to garner for himself. What makes this revenge even more powerful is that Christine is not shouting into the void. Her words are being echoed and validated by the other wives, past and present. Janelle, once thought to be the quiet and reserved partner, has stepped forward to confirm that Kody often twisted narratives to make himself look like the victim. Even Mary, who had her own complicated dynamic with Christine, has admitted in recent interviews that Kody's favoritism toward Robin destroyed the family's unity long before Christine decided to leave. Together, their voices form a choir of truth that Kody cannot drown out, no matter how hard he tries to cling to his version of events. The bombshell Christine dropped has also carried weight outside of the Brown family. Media outlets, podcasts, and online fan communities have dissected every word she has shared, and the verdict is nearly unanimous. Christine is finally speaking the truth that so many suspected but could never prove. For fans who felt gaslit by the glossy veneer of the show's early seasons, Christine's revelations are vindication. They feel she is not just exposing Kody for herself, but for everyone who has ever believed in the false narrative of a man balancing 4 marriages with equal love and fairness. Kody, for his part, has tried to respond, but his reactions only seem to worsen his case. In recent interviews, he has alternated between anger and victimhood, accusing Christine of betrayal while also lamenting that she never truly loved him. But these attempts to discredit her are falling flat with audiences who have spent years watching his favoritism toward Robyn play out on camera. Fans point out that Kody doesn't need Christine's words to destroy his reputation. His actions, replayed endlessly in reruns and streaming platforms, already show his downfall. Christine's revenge, therefore, is not the creation of new truths but the bold declaration of old ones that Kody had hoped to bury. The ripple effect of Christine's revelations extends beyond the show itself. Sister Wives has long been TLC's flagship reality series, but its future is now clouded by the growing rift among the Brown family members. Fans who once tuned in for the promise of an unconventional yet loving family dynamic are now watching the unraveling of a patriarch who can no longer hold his household together. Christine's revenge has reshaped the show into something entirely different, not a portrait of polygamy's challenges but a cautionary tale about power, control, and the resilience of women who refuse to remain silenced. What makes this ultimate revenge so enduring is Christine's ability to rise from the ashes of her past with grace and strength. She has not retreated into bitterness but has instead built a vibrant new life, complete with love, marriage, and a newfound independence that fans celebrate as inspirational. Her happiness is perhaps the sharpest dagger to Kody's reputation, because nothing destroys a man's carefully crafted image of power like the sight of the woman he tried to control thriving without him. Christine's bombshell is more than a personal revelation, it is a cultural moment. Challenges viewers to look beyond the staged smiles of reality TV and ask what truths lie behind the scenes. It raises questions about the dangers of control disguised as faith, the cost of silencing women's voices, and the resilience it takes to break free from toxic cycles. In exposing Kody, Christine has not only reclaimed her own story but also given fans a reason to believe in the power of truth and justice, even when it comes late. As the dust settles from Christine's ultimate revenge, one thing is certain: Kody Brown's reputation will never recover. The man who once stood as the central figure of Sister Wives is now being remembered not as the charismatic patriarch, but as the husband who lost everything because he underestimated the strength of the women around him. Christine's bombshell is not just an ending, it is a beginning, a rewriting of history that ensures her voice, not his, will define the legacy of the Brown family. And for fans, that is the sweetest revenge of all. Christine Woolley has never been afraid to share her truth, but her latest revelation has stunned Sister Wives fans and reignited the conversation about what really happened behind the scenes in her turbulent marriage to Kody Brown. In a powerful confession, Christine revealed that Kody did not take kindly to her speaking up on the show, and instead of listening or respecting her voice, he punished her for daring to express herself in ways that didn't fit his carefully controlled image. For years, viewers watched as Christine smiled, laughed, and tried to maintain the image of a supportive wife and mother, but now she is peeling back the curtain to reveal the high price she paid for refusing to remain silent in a family dynamic where Kody expected loyalty, submission, and unquestioning compliance. This bombshell is not just about one marriage gone wrong. It is about the dangerous consequences of silencing a woman who refuses to play along with a narrative that minimizes her feelings. Christine's courage to step forward and speak out comes at a time when reality television is under intense scrutiny for the way it portrays relationships and gender roles. Sister Wives was once marketed as a story of faith, family, and plural marriage functioning against the odds, but Christine's words have reshaped that narrative entirely. Instead of being a story about unity, her confession paints it as one of control, favoritism, and punishment doled out to those who refuse to fall in line. Fans who once tuned in to watch the Browns navigate the challenges of polygamy are now revisiting those old episodes with fresh eyes, realizing just how often Christine's voice was dismissed, mocked, or outright ignored by Kody while the cameras kept rolling. Christine's marriage to Kody was always portrayed as complicated, but she is now saying that complexity was not just about jealousy or struggles with sharing her husband. It was about being punished whenever she dared to push back against Kody's vision of how their family should look. Punishment didn't always come in obvious ways. Sometimes, Christine recalls, it came in the form of coldness, withdrawal of affection, or being excluded from decision-making. Other times it was far more overt, with Kody lashing out, dismissing her concerns on camera, or belittling her in front of the other wives. Pain of those moments was magnified by the fact that millions of viewers were watching, yet few truly understood the manipulation that was unfolding beneath the surface. To Christine, it felt like living under constant surveillance, where every word she spoke could either be used against her or result in retaliation once the cameras were gone. In her new role as Christine Woolley, happily remarried and building a life free from Kody's influence, she is reflecting on those years with honesty and clarity that fans find both heartbreaking and liberating. She explains that one of the hardest parts of her journey was realizing that her husband saw her voice as a threat rather than a gift. Instead of valuing her input, Kody saw her independence as defiance. Instead of supporting her when she expressed feelings of neglect, he labeled her as ungrateful or dramatic. Each time she spoke her truth, she says, she was made to feel like the enemy of the family's peace. But Christine insists she now understands that peace was always defined by Kody's terms, and if anyone disrupted that image, they were swiftly disciplined through emotional withdrawal, public shaming, or exclusion. Fans who have followed Sister Wives for years say this confession explains much of what they already suspected. They remember episodes where Christine would express doubts or frustrations, only for Kody to respond with anger or dismissiveness. They recall her emotional breakdowns during counseling sessions where she confessed to feeling unloved and unwanted, and now they see those moments not as isolated incidents but as part of a pattern of punishment that she endured for simply daring to use her voice. What makes this revelation even more shocking is that Christine says Kody's punishment wasn't limited to private life. It extended into the very fabric of the show. Speaking up in front of the cameras, she says, came with a price. The more she pushed against his narrative, the more he punished her both on and off screen, trying to make her appear unstable or disloyal to protect his reputation as the devoted patriarch of a large, complicated family. Christine's story is resonating with fans because it sheds light on the hidden cost of reality television fame. For years, audiences were entertained by the Browns' dynamics, but few realized the extent to which certain voices were silenced. Christine now argues that Kody's insistence on controlling the family's narrative was not just about managing conflict but about protecting his ego. He wanted to be seen as the strong leader, the man who could handle multiple wives with fairness and love, but Christine's truth threatened to expose cracks in that image. When she dared to say she was unhappy, neglected, or mistreated, she says he treated her not as a wife to be cared for but as a traitor who had violated the family's unspoken rule: protect Kody's image at all costs. Her courage to come forward with this confession has sparked fierce conversations among Sister Wives fans. Some are furious, saying that Kody's behavior was emotional abuse disguised as leadership. Others say they are not surprised at all, pointing out that Christine's departure from the marriage already spoke volumes about the toxicity she endured. What unites fans, however, is a sense of admiration for Christine's bravery. Speaking out against someone who once held so much power over her life is no small feat, especially when that someone is still a prominent figure on a hit television show. Christine's willingness to be vulnerable and honest has made her a symbol of resilience, proving that even after years of being silenced, a woman's voice can still be the loudest in the room. The timing of Christine's revelation is also significant. With Sister Wives continuing to air new seasons, Kody has been attempting to reshape his own image, presenting himself as a man hurt by betrayal, misunderstood by the public, and left abandoned by wives who supposedly never respected his role. Christine's confession directly challenges that narrative, reminding fans that his downfall was not sudden but the natural consequence of years of dismissing, punishing, and silencing those around him. It reframes Kody not as the victim of his wife's disloyalty but as the architect of his own misery, a man who punished those who loved him most simply for wanting to be heard. Christine's story also highlights the deep irony of Sister Wives itself. The show was supposed to give an inside look at the joys and struggles of plural marriage, offering viewers a chance to understand a lifestyle often misunderstood by mainstream culture. But instead of being a platform for authenticity, Christine says it became another tool Kody used to maintain control. By punishing her for speaking up on the show, he turned what could have been a source of healing and honesty into a stage for manipulation. Fans now see that Christine's tears, her vulnerability, and her courage to speak out in front of the cameras were acts of resistance, small rebellions against a man determined to keep her voice from being heard. Now that she has remarried and embraced a life outside of polygamy, Christine speaks with a sense of freedom that fans find infectious. She no longer fears Kody's punishment, and that has allowed her to reflect openly on what she endured. Her honesty has inspired countless women who see themselves in her story, women who stayed silent in their own relationships out of fear of retaliation, women who sacrificed their happiness to maintain someone else's image, and women who wondered if they would ever have the courage to walk away. Christine's story is not just about one marriage and one family. It is about the universal struggle of women reclaiming their voices after years of suppression. The fallout from Christine's confession will undoubtedly continue to ripple through the Sister Wives world. For Kody, it is another devastating blow to a reputation already damaged by public scrutiny and his wife's departures. For Christine, it is a moment of empowerment, a chance to transform pain into purpose. And for fans, it is a reminder that reality television can never fully hide the truth. No matter how polished the editing or how carefully the storylines are shaped, real emotions, real struggles, and real courage will always find a way to shine through. Christine Woolley's revelation that Kody punished her for speaking up on the show has forever changed how fans view Sister Wives. It is no longer just entertainment but a case study in power, control, and the resilience of women who refuse to be silenced. By sharing her truth, Christine has ensured that her story will not be erased or twisted to fit someone else's narrative. Instead, it stands as a powerful testament to the importance of using one's voice, no matter the cost. And in doing so, she has not only freed herself but also inspired others to believe that even after years of punishment, a woman's voice can rise above it all and change the story forever.